arranging some flowers, B.
Yay! So Steve and Cheryl, like you said, are joining us from Napa, and they're gonna give us a little bit of Napa life. And I have a little bit of Napa life here because I did order the Mother's Day assortment. You can get direct wine shipped from them, which is how I like to do all of my wine right now, because I want to support the businesses directly in these incredible small family-owned businesses in every way that I can. So you guys, I'm gonna let you take it away because I can't wait to make your vermouth cocktail and then do a little stroll with you.
Happy Mother's Day.
Hi everybody. Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah. Yeah, so
right.
we're getting started a little earlier than normal with our cocktail drinking.
We're going to try to do this
Sunday.
So that I can switch it to the.
We're going to switch to
the other device.
These two are very impressive. They're not only some of the most lauded winemakers and winery owners in the world, but they also have this two-camera situation ready to go.
Okay. All right. So this is so we have two different ways of making our vermouth cocktail. Okay, we have the way that I like it and the way that Jill likes it.
Oh.
Nice.
So first off, we'll do the way that I like it. And so we put a little bit of.
Show them that bottle.
This is the vermouth. So vermouth. So when we drink vermouth, we like to be able to taste the vermouth. Our vermouth is made with Flora grapes. It's a grape variety that was bred here in California as a cross between the Gewürztraminer and Semillon.
There you go.
We have to mute one of those guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
And turn down the volume a little bit, and then we'll be good.
Okay. So just so everyone knows what vermouth is vermouth is it's a very ancient beverage, and it's wine that has herbs and spices added to it. That's all vermouth is, and it's like 10,000-year tradition, and it's always been considered healthy, and it's always and by definition it's wine. And so the vermouth that we make and that what we love drinking other people's vermouths are vermouths where you can taste the wine. So so we love Vergano vermouth, we love the uncouth vermouth, we love mom and pop, and any of the handmade vermouths that are wine with fresh herbs and spices added to it is what we want to be drinking. So like ours is the base wine is Flora grapes, and then we add fresh sour cherries, fresh cardoons that we grow that we'll show you in a minute. We add our own blood orange zest, and then we buy a little bit of cinchona bark because we can't grow cinchona here in Napa. And our wormwood, we just established our wormwood, but we have a little wormwood in it, and then we're about to, next vintage, we'll have our own wormwood in it. So those are the ingredients. It's very simple. The wormwood, cinchona, cardoons give you the bitterness, and the three different bitterings give you some nice layers and completeness. And then you have aromatics from the blood orange zest and the sour cherries. And so they're great in a Manhattan. Vermouth is vermouth is great in like a Negroni or a Blood and Sand, but we like to just drink the vermouth and taste it. It's a complete.
Oh my gosh, Steve, it smells so good. So Steve, if someone's at home and they have the choice between sweet or dry for this cocktail, which one would you use?
I would use sweet for sure. If you have a choice between sweet and dry, use sweet. Since it's a pandemic and all you have is dry, then we're using dry.
That's right. Use what you got. Steve, I have a second question. Is there like a particular grape variety that you think is more amenable for making a great vermouth, or?
Well, this variety is pretty interesting because it was actually bred for fortified wine. It was bred in California at the tail end of Prohibition when the majority of our industry was fortified wine. So this one works really well for a sweet wine. It actually doesn't make a very good dry wine. But other varieties, I mean, I would just like, for a drier vermouth, a very neutral white is always really classic, like in these Palomino in Spain, or Vermentino is a really good vermouth base. But we like a really flavorful. This is picked late and fermented whole cluster, so it's a really flavorful base wine by itself, and all the ingredients are just accents basically.
I mean, I could just sip it from the bottle, but what do we do next?
So the next thing we do is pour a little bit. Maybe we'll just use that one. Pour a little bit on the rocks like this. Put a little bit of sparkling water in it. I'm gonna pour a little bit more in there because this glass is bigger than what I thought. And I want to drink this, celebrate Mother's Day.
Yes.
And then we're gonna take a little bit of lime, or this orange, this last orange on our tree. It's a little small. Make a little twist, put it in there, and voila, we have a delicious vermouth spritz.
Yum.
For bartenders following along at home, I would recommend probably about 2 ounces of their vermouth if you want to be exact with the jigger and all that.
That's delicious. Oh
And
my
so
God,
this
that's
is
so
the way-
good.
This is the way I like to do it. Now we're going to do it the way Jill likes to do it. So
He
like,
said, she said.
exactly. So with Jill's
Filming him.
cocktail, we're going to pour a little bit of sparkling water on the ice. We're going to make our twist. Then we're going to hand it to her, and she's going to drink the water. You only been drink it one time. You got to rehydrate before you dehydrate. Then we're going to put the vermouth on the rocks. Done.
Nice.
This vermouth is delicious.
It's
Yeah.
so delicious.
So good. You can
Yeah.
taste all those
Like you said-
florals and all the flavors coming through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are just maybe like over aromatized, I guess, to your point. They add so much herbal and so many other ingredients that the wine grape doesn't show through. Yum.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the recipes have like 30 different ingredients, and then it becomes kind of like Coca-Cola, where it makes a new ingredient, the new flavor. And if you're like a larger vermouth producer and you're making a consistent product people can count on, that's really, really difficult if you think about blending wine and natural herbs to make something that's going to taste the same every single time
Yum.
for years. And so they have to have a really complex formula and all this blending to constantly get it right. And if the wine is flavorful, you have vintage variation, which is exactly what you don't want in a mass market vermouth. Our vermouth is, we number every batch. Every single batch is different. It's a handmade product. It's not going to taste the same any time. It would be impossible for us to have it taste the same because, we only have 4 or 5 ingredients and they vary every single year. And that's fine. It's a farmhouse vermouth and the handmade product. And those are
Delicious.
Yeah, let's get a toast from everyone there. Anyone that finished a drink?
Cheers, everyone.
Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Yum.
Cheers.
What a great way to start brunch. Thank you. So
there's two
excited.
versions, with and without soda water.
Wow.
It's delicious in I did your method first and then I topped it up. So I also incorporated Jill's method. But I'm excited to see outside. Is it time? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
We haven't switched to this.
Yeah, we're switching to the phone.
We're
Okay,
taking a field
great.
trip, everybody.
This was our morning Mother's Day project.
Oh my gosh. Do you guys see the spread that Jill made? Oh my God. Look at that.
Yeah, this is the Mother's Day project right here. We had a lot of fun with that. Then these are mostly from the garden. Green garlic, roasted peppers, delicata squash. There's some shallots. This was fun. So
I
we'll
wonder
go
anyone
outside and pick a little lettuce.
If anybody's been in the group has been baking, I mean, now you can take it next level. This is like really baking. Charlie, are you ready to make like this focaccia with all the flowers?
Okay, so this is our backyard.
Oh my
If you guys
God.
watch this Psalm 2 and watch the yellow house that fell down in the earthquake, that was our house. And so now it's all put back together again.
Gorgeous.
The bottom half is all brand new. Jill's cousin and I put it back together after harvest.
How much land is that?
These are,
Steve?
whoops, I'm gonna turn it sideways. This is our place. So that's our house. That's our fig tree. It gives us about 500 pounds of figs. We were able to make enough jam for the wine club from that one tree.
Jeez.
And these vines here are Schio Patino. Right behind that is Refosco and then Cabernet Franc.
Wow.
And Jill's bowl we don't have ramps. Jill's bowl doesn't have ramps to answer that question. The ramps don't grow in California, unfortunately. So we love ramps. We get them when we go to New York. So these are the artichoke plants. Planted these about 5 years ago, and they just
Those
they
are
come back every
giant.
year.
Like, those are artichokes.
Yeah, right.
They're still huge.
Yeah.
They're bigger than Jill. The plant.
This sounds a little wacky, guys. Sorry.
If you're on Wi-Fi, maybe try getting off Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
We lost our
There,
connection.
we gotcha. Oh,
Am we back?
yes, you're back and we can hear you
Okay.
clearly. Go ahead. Thanks.
Okay. So here's our lettuce patch.
Ugh. I
So
want a
when we-
lettuce patch.
Yeah, I need to move to California.
Yeah, this little patch like this, it just we planted it last probably October, and then when they're little, you just harvest the leaves, and then a couple months later you start thinning it, because we just seed it really thick. Then you start thinning it and eating the thinnings. Now it's coming closer to heads, and so this one little patch, if you just keep it going and harvest it carefully, you can nurse it for a solid 6 months.
Oh, it's fabulous.
So this is our nightly ritual: is Jill coming and picking the salad, and deciding what we're going to eat.
About 150 salads.
Yeah, like maybe 150 salads from this little patch. It's crazy.
Wow.
You know, the amazing thing about growing food is that it literally grows out of thin air. And so you keep picking it and watering it, give it some compost, it keeps giving. So this is the new patch. So this will be get us through the summer for our lettuce. These are lettuces in front, and then you have the tomatoes and a lot of like weird heirlooms in here. We like play around with stuff from Native Seed Search. So behind this little section of vines back there is our little global warming experiment. We have Sagrantino there, a little bit of Petite Syrah, and a little bit of this new variety from the 1950s from Davis that was bred for warm climate. It's a cross between Carignan, Grenache, and Cabernet Sauvignon.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
spectacular. Wait, so Steve, if you had to just sort of ballpark, like how many different grape varieties do you have planted on this property that we're seeing right now?
Let's see, Ribolla, Gialla, Schioppettino, Refosco, Cabernet Franc, Petit Verdot for our Cabernet, and Merlot for the Cabernet, plus the little experimental section.
Fantastic.
And then so we're going to make vinaigrette, so I'll just bring you into the barn to show the next batch of vinegar.
Wow, we get to go to the barn.
Yeah, so this is Alianico that got a little smoky, and so because the fires, and so we thought it would make delicious vinegar. So it's aging in here.
So if we all join the wine club right now, we might be eligible for the Alianico vinegar.
Yeah, exactly. We'll bottle it hopefully this spring. Hopefully it'll be done. It's bubbling away right now.
Fabulous.
Yeah. So these are cardoons. So for the vermouth. So this whole row here, they look a lot like artichokes, but they're actually cardoons. They're very closely related. So this is what we harvest for the vermouth, for the bitterness. You can see they're more like wild thistles instead of a regular artichoke. It's this little thistle-y thing on the top.
Cool.
So normally with the cardoons, you eat the stems from the leaves. Right, not anymore because now they're going to seed, but they'll be really bitter. But so we'll pick all these leaves, and then we chop them up and we put them in mason jars full of alcohol, and that's how we extract them. And then we add that to the vermouth.
Yeah. Is that a traditional thing to add for the bittering agent, cardoons?
Well, it's a long tradition. It's not that common, but like Cardamaro is bittered with cardoons, for example.
Right.
This is Coda.
Hi.
Coda.
Yeah. So.
Steve, latest.
Yeah. So then back into the kitchen.
Pretty jealous of your life, Steve. Just gonna say.
So fabulous. Love it.
We are counting our blessings.
I'm going to trade, and now Steve's going to make the
So a
salad.
little vinaigrette.
Excellent.
And so we basically just take some garlic and just try to smash it up really well with some salt. I kind of just grind it in there so that the idea is to get nice and pasty and get all the flavor to react in there and come out.
I've always been really jealous of Californians for many reasons, but especially for the lettuce. Your lettuce just tastes so much better than everyone else's lettuce.
It really
Oh,
does.
yeah.
That is the
Oh,
one
just-
thing.
So this is
All
a
right,
Meyer
David.
lemon. So we have there's on the other side of the barn are the citrus trees. So these Meyer lemons just keep growing. So they're absolutely giant, and they have a lot of sweetness. The Meyers. You don't see them in the store much in a lot of the country because they don't ship well because they're very soft. But they're not as sour. They have a lot of sweetness. This lemon's so big I've used this grapefruit juicer. So since they have a lot of sweetness, they're really nice in the salad in the vinaigrette. Because we don't have to use much sugar. I like to have a little bit of sweetness because the one thing about our lettuce here, it's a little warmer where we are compared to where they grow a lot of lettuce. So it can be a little bitter. So it's nice to have a little bit of sweetness to the vinaigrette. So I just have just a pinch of sugar. And then this is our Ribolla Jala vinegar. So this was aged in the barn. This is 2008. So with our Ribolla Jala, unfortunately, we fermented it in the barn, and we wanted to do true vineyard yeasts. And in 2008, the vineyard yeast succumbed to the vineyard bacteria, basically, and it was fermented by lactobacillus. So it turned into vinegar within 2 weeks. It never and with the alcoholic. So we were like, what are we going to do with this? So we barrel aged it for a few years in the barn, and then bottled it up. So it's a pretty assertive vinegar, but we already have the lemon in here for acidity. So like sherry vinegar works really, really well. Champagne vinegar, like if it's a really tart, non-oaky, like light-bodied red wine vinegar, just something to give a little bit of snap to counteract the kind of sweetness that's in the citrus.
Steve, I feel like you're the male version of Alice Waters, like making the most epic salad from things that seem deceptively simple, but actually are just really incredible.
Yeah, that would be, Alice Waters is way the hell up there.
No, I think you're
So I'm
killing
gonna put
it.
a little bit of water in here. And the water just kind of chills it all out. It doesn't, it's weird because if you wash lettuce, we're not going to wash this lettuce because we just picked it out of the barn. Then you get the water off of it, so you think that you don't want water in your vinaigrette, but it really kind of mellows it out and helps it kind of go better with the lettuce. And then this is really fun. If you guys mustard that, speaking of Alice Waters, Kermit Lynch brings this mustard in, and it's so like high tone. It's like the Chablis of mustard, basically. But any Dijon mustard will work fine.
What's the name of the brand, Steve? We can type it into the chats for everyone. Oh, Moutard Fort. Yum.
Fall.
It's the
Yeah.
only allocated mustard like we can think of. Like they only let you buy a certain amount of it.
Wow, that's awesome.
And then one of the key ingredients for just about anything. So we love these anchovies. Like just get them in these cans. And what we do is we transfer them into a jar and keep it in the fridge. And then if you look inside here, you see there's all the salt and juices comes out. And so it's basically like a umami bomb. So if you so looking for a little bit more umami with the salt, is you get in there and you get some of that wet salt and put it in there, and it's a little bit towards fish sauce, but without the funk, basically like a cleaner, brighter fish sauce. And then
Like anchovies and everything. That's such a good idea. Yum.
yeah, the salt is like the best part. And then olive oil.
Show them. Oh.
Oops.
Jill.
So the olives are growing out here. We actually have them planted all along one edge of the property. And they're dual purpose because we're certified organic, and the olive line of olive trees actually blocks the insects from moving in from the neighbors. And then we get to harvest the olives for oil.
That's fabulous. Oh my gosh.
So it's like about a little, like maybe 2/3 oil in there.
Jill, so this is like your everyday. I mean, my God. It's like,
Pretty much. Well,
is
exactly. It is
Michelin
our everyday.
This is like Relais and Chateau, Michelin 3-star. This is everything. Wow.
I know we're doing pretty well sheltering at home here.
Amazing. But I mean, here's the big question. Do you have enough toilet paper? No.
Cheers.
All right, want to dress the salad?
No, that's your dog. I'll take it over.
Oh, no, you, okay.
I'm not allowed to dress the salad. I overdress it.
Oh, Jill's in charge of salad dressing. Okay, got it.
Salad. Okay, really, really complicated. We use tongs. Our good friend Maria Sinsky is the Martha Stewart in our life. She tells us never use tongs when you dress salad. Always use like salad things. But
You know, I bruise the lettuce,
we're
but
just like a regular,
we're a little lazy.
lazy cook here. We're not the chef that Maria is. So pretty simple. Just
Oh,
add the dressing.
it looks so mouth-wateringly delicious.
This cucumber beetle went into the compost.
Look at that. Oh,
All right.
Martha Stewart, eat your heart out.
I have it.
Simple.
Okay.
She has the technique, but we have the garden.
Steve and Jill, is the olive oil for sale on your website, mathiasen.com?
It's for sale for our wine club members.
Wine club.
Okay, so you got just wine
Join
club.
the wine club. We also make jams from fruit trees. We have that are also an add-on for the wine club. So there's 2 shipments of wine a year. You can find all of that information on our website and how the wine club works. And then we do special things that we offer for our wine club members, like the olive oil. So,
Yeah.
You guys, this is the
check
best
out.
wine club. This is the best wine club there is. I did an interview for New York Magazine, The Strategist, and they asked me about the West wine clubs, and people had commented that they like these wine clubs where you get to take a quiz or whatever. Screw that. Like, this is a wine club where not only do you get the best of the best wine, but you get like jams and olive oil and vinegar and like all this really cool stuff. This is the one.
Yeah.
You should cancel all your other wine club membership and join this one.
All right.
Yeah.
For sure.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Happy
Thank
Mother's
you.
Day,
That was
everybody.
amazing.
Thank you for sharing all of that beauty. We're so appreciative. But, and this is their information. You can find them at Matthias and Wines. If you Google that, you will get to their website. But they also would like you to support them in supporting the James Beard Foundation's relief funds. You know, usually we ask you to Venmo tips to bartenders and things like that, but if you really love the Mathiasens, they'd like for you to direct your support to jamesbeard.org/relief. I think that the James Beard Foundation has already raised $4.5 million
Yeah, they
the
have.
last 2 months and given grants to a lot of the small restaurants to help them stay alive during this time. So, wow. And if you participated in all parts of the last few minutes, then you already have 4 X's on your bingo card. But Matt, I'm going to toss it to you because we have more and I'm getting hungry and I want to cook with Ed.
This is about where the drinks start catching up with everyone and where the food becomes almost like a necessary part of just your day.
That's why we do drinks first and then food.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Let's bring on Ed. Ed, where you at, bro?
There he is.
Yes, so
Oh,
Ed Hennes, short for Hennessy, is on right now. Just kidding, it's just Ed Hennes.
there he
He's
is.
here. He's going to show us how to make a béarnaise sauce and then the Madame Croquet sandwich. How's it going, Ed?
Are you on mute, Ed?
You're muted.
There you go.
There we go.
We're basically making a hot ham and cheese with an egg and a béarnaise because what else do you need? First thing we're gonna do in this little pan, I have a whole stick of butter because it's Mother's Day, because it's Sunday, all of the butter, right? And actually there's
Ed, can we back up for just a second? So you have a series on Facebook called Cooking with Ed, right? And so-
yeah, cooking live with Ed. It started during quarantine because what else did I have to do? Yeah.
Ed, where did you get, like, where'd your love of cooking come from?
So I have always been like, since I was a kid, I would eat everything. Like, it didn't really matter like what kind of weird vegetable it was, or like I liked Brussels sprouts as like a 10-year-old. You know what 10-year-old likes? Steamed Brussels sprouts. I don't think I'd eat steamed Brussels sprouts anymore, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of grew up in a house where we had the same like 5 or 6 meals all the time. And so like when I started seeing like food on TV and whatnot, I was like, oh, there's like all these other possibilities and whatnot. So yeah, I've always liked eating everything pretty much, and I like to try new things all the time. And you know, eating out gets expensive, so you got to kind of learn to cook for yourself.
Okay, Ed, so we have our 1 stick of butter melted. What happens?
Oh, yeah, I actually never turned on my burner for that. So thank you for keeping me in mind. Melting
What a setup.
stick of butter. I'm also, while we're over here, I'm gonna get my pan preheated for the sandwich. I'm gonna put that at about medium high-ish. I always end up having to turn mine down.
Also, cameraman over at Ed's house, you're doing a great job. This is very excellent.
Other Ed. Okay, so at our sandwich making station,
We're watching Ed.
We're doing 2 sandwiches. So I'm gonna put some mayo on 2 slices. Paste, hold the sandwich together. And then I'm also gonna grate on a little bit of Parmesan, because we're using prosciutto here today, and Parmesan and prosciutto just go so wonderfully together. You get that little bit of nuttiness with the Parmesan.
Do you have a particular brand of mayo that you like, Ed? What do you use?
I'm using Hellmann's because, you know.
Me too.
Why not? Oh, I love the squeeze bottle or squeeze bottle.
Yeah, Hellmann's.
That's squeeze bottle.
And this is non-spon con.
On what?
Non-sponsored content.
Oh, right.
Hellmann, real mayonnaise for real cooks.
That's right.
Next, we're going to put on our prosciutto. I think I'm going to do 2 slices per bread. I'm going to kind of layer it on there a little bit to give our sandwich a little bit of height. Just makes it look better. It doesn't really matter, but
I bought like super cheapy prosciutto ends.
yeah, mine's already falling apart, which I guess it's good because that means it's thin, right? But just kind of layer it there. Give your sandwich a little bit of height. Makes it look a little bit more interesting.
I'm using an English muffin.
Oh, I love that idea. That's great. Yeah, we're using some kind of sourdough. It was kind of slim pickings at the grocery store this morning, but that's kind of like how going to the grocery store is like any day of the week, it seems, even if it is Sunday at 8 o'clock in the morning.
It's been a little crazy. I know like Mark Chi always tells me he's in New York, like, oh, we couldn't find any of those things.
That's crazy.
Well, we're all just going to move in with Jill and Steve, and we'll have everything.
Right. Yeah, you just never know what you're going to find. I made this last weekend with mortadella, and it was really, really good. You kind of get that like funkiness from the fancy bologna.
I love anything that's kind of like a Benedict or a ham and cheese sandwich, right? Like that's just the best.
Yeah, and then we're going to put on our cheese right on top. That'll melt. I'm going to do 2 slices per bread, per sandwich. And it'll kind of melt on top and hold the whole thing together. Okay, and then I'm going to put my bread on top. Throw a couple tablespoons of butter in the pan that you are using to cook the sandwich. I find that when I'm cooking, like when I'm toasting bread in a skillet, that I need a lot of butter. Like, you know, not that that's a bad thing, but you end up needing a lot of butter when you do that for some reason. It just kind of soaks it all up, which is definitely not terrible.
And I also want to know if there were 5 standard dishes that you grew up with. What were some of those 5 in the repertoire?
What were some of those 5? Okay,
yeah.
So there was a lot of spaghetti. There was my mother really enjoyed boneless, skinless chicken breasts.
It was so on trend. That's very trendy.
Right.
Skinless chicken breast. Yeah.
Right. There was also a lot of cottage cheese in my childhood, which probably explains why I don't eat a lot of cottage cheese now. At my grandmother's, which I spent a lot of time at as well, there was a lot of cabbage and noodles because she's Polish. There was also a fair amount of chicken paprikash too. So.
Oh, look at Mark Cheese. Like those, is that Dustin? Dustin, good job there. Nice. He's like on it.
Beautiful. I feel like I already need more butter for my sandwich toasting station. Okay, so we're gonna move over here to our béarnaise. I'm using my little mini food processor, which I use for everything lately, and I just love it. First thing I'm gonna do is put in my, I think on the recipe I said 1 yolk, but these yolks are small, so I'm using 2, putting those at the bottom. Gonna put in a little bit of shallots, probably about half a shallot in here. About a tablespoon or 2 of white wine vinegar, and then a little bit of fresh parsley.
Does it matter if it's chopped up, Ed, or can we just throw it in there?
For the most part, you can just throw it in there. I mean, with my little food processors, mini food processor, I chopped stuff up a little bit, but I didn't get too fussy about it.
Got it.
A little bit of salt.
It's not traditional to use the food processor, right? It's like how Michelle showed us all to do the crepe batter in a blender, right?
Yeah, I think it's usually a double boiler. But this is kind of just a little easier way of doing it, a cheater step for doing it. Let's see, I'm gonna check on my sandwich, make sure it's not getting too brown before I flip it over. Oh, we got some good brownness going. I'm gonna flip my sandwich over before I get going on putting that hot butter in there.
It's beautiful. Nice job, Ed.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy with the brownness. I'm gonna turn that down just so it doesn't get done too quick. Okay, I'm gonna pulse it a little bit before I put the butter in.
And Ed, while you're pulsing, can you tell everyone what you really do for a living? Because I think it's so cool and so fun.
So I'm a music teacher, elementary music teacher. I sing at a church. I sing in the opera chorus in town. So I kind of keep myself busy with different projects and different activities and whatnot.
I think it's so much fun that we've had so many people in the music business join us over the last couple weeks. I mean, Archie is a tenor, you're a baritone. We had Amy, I don't know if she's here today, but Amy Cofield's an incredible soprano. So I mean, my dream is you guys are going to record some kind of musical theme for.
We're going to have a concert, a brunch series concert.
Yes.
Yeah, and my partner is a horn player, so he can accompany us.
Perfect. I mean, the Mets got nothing on this team.
Right. Okay, so next thing I'm gonna do, I have my hot melted butter, and my little food processor has this thing at the top where it really drizzles it in for you. So make sure that you're not adding it too fast because you don't want those eggs to scramble and whatnot. You want that to become a nice emulsion, nice and smooth and creamy. So I'm going to get the food processor going, and I'm going to slowly add in my butter.
So if you were doing this in another way, you might be doing whisking, right? If you were the traditional way would be whisking in a pan. This is so smart though.
Yeah, whisking over a double boiler, which I feel like it would probably work. I've had some issues with chocolate in double boiler, but that's a whole nother story.
Béarnaise.
Right.
I see some other Béarnaise attempts happening all over the world, which is making me very excited. It's so fun. Alyssa's on it. Alyssa, your sandwiches look fantastic. Also, I love your kitchen so much. There she goes. There goes Jessica. She's doing it. Make that Bernice, girl. Well done. Megan, is it doing what it's supposed to do, doctor? Looks good.
Almost. I think it's almost done.
Oh my God, it looks so incredible.
Okay, so we got butter in there. I'm gonna see how the other side of my sandwiches are doing. I turned the heat off because it's cooking pretty quickly.
Yum.
Okay, so I'm gonna take those sandwiches off the pan, get that heat going again, because I turned it off because I didn't want it to burn on me. I'm gonna get that going back to medium high. Gonna put another tablespoon or two of butter in the pan so we can do those eggs over, nice sunny side up eggs. A little trick that I found out, in order to, so you don't have to flip your eggs, when you go to put it in the pan, put in just a tablespoon about of water, and then you're gonna cover it up and just let it cook for about a minute, and then that way the yolk and the top of the egg is nice and set without having to flip it over.
That's so fun. We're learning the power of water between you and Steve. I mean, Steve did water in his dressing too, right?
Right?
Important.
So good. So
amazing. Okay, so I think my pan's ready for my eggs. I'm gonna do two, because we're doing 2 sandwiches.
Oh, that looks so delicious. I can smell it from here. Yum. Whoever's making this, Megan, I'm coming over. Megan, I'm coming and I'm picking up my sandwich a little bit.
Pour a little bit of water in there and then put the lid right on, let it cook for a minute.
I've never done that before, frying the egg with a little water in there. That's so clever.
Yeah, because then the steam kind of helps
Either.
at the top of it.
Okay.
Nice.
Another tip.
Yeah, that's such a good tip. Matt, you're going to have to Matt's got a whole situation going on.
I'm a little behind with my egg. Pretty solid so far.
Oh, nice. Good job. Gabe and I are we're having spotlight wars right now, Gabe. Sorry.
I'm gonna drizzle my sauce over the sandwich while the egg is finishing cooking up.
Oh, so you're doing sauce before egg. Love it. That looks so delicious.
Wow.
Yum!
That looks amazing.
Okay. Steady hands.
But we've got some vegetables too, because we did a salad with Steve. So we've got, decadent and then
Right.
also delicious, but maybe better for us.
My eggs, see how my eggs are doing.
Nice!
Crackling and popping.
Crackling and popping.
I think my eggs are done. The tops are nice and set. I'm gonna season them a little bit of salt on top. A little more pepper. I'm going to carefully place them on top of the sandwich.
Tahoe, your sandwich looks really good.
Tahoe always
In there.
outshining me every chance he gets.
That Tahoe low. He's crushing it on the West Coast.
If you have a little extra parsley, you can sprinkle that on top because I just love fresh parsley and it looks cool too.
Also, I like your colored plates. Those are cute.
Oh, thank you. It's the Fiesta ware. Gotta love it. There we go.
Wow.
Gorgeous.
There we go. There we go.
Bravo. That with a little Matthias and Chardonnay or Rosé or Cabernet, frankly, we're winning.
Right? What else do you need?
Well done. And
Thumb
now
up, everybody.
we've done 2 master sauces together, right?
Oh yeah, we did the bechamel last week, right?
right? So we're bechamel check, béarnaise check. We've got 3 more to go. Love it. Well done. So if everybody's ready with their sandwiches, I always see Mark Cheese like slicing. Charlie's like put in the sauce. It looks so good.
Yeah, put a little sauce on that top of that egg too if you have it. Why not, right?
Oh my Lord.
Good.
Wow.
That looks so brunchy fabulous. I'm super excited. So oh my God, look at that one.
We expect nothing less.
Love it.
Well done, friend. So Mark is ready. If you guys want to sing something really quick before we move on to flowers.
Like I said, laryngitis, right?
Honey, come
We'll
on.
have something ready next week.
We both know all the classic Italian arias that we had to learn in college.
Right, and we'll practice those for next week, right?
Okay, next week. We've got the cooking performance this week. We'll get the musical performance next week. Ed, wow, you are such a great chef. Thank you.
Ed, you're my hero.
Thank you for those tips. I love this recipe. So great.
Ed, are you proud of me?
I am so proud of you. Let's see. Oh,
Oh, wow.
Look at those eggs.
Wow.
That looks
Great, Matt.
awesome.
Matt, is your mom still in the basement?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get texted her.
Give her
She needs to come upstairs.
I was
to
like, Mom,
her-
I need your help right now.
She needs to come up for her Mother's Day brunch. Okay, everyone. So
Look at Megan's.
you know,
Megan's.
finish
Nice
up your
job,
dishes.
Megan.
Megan,
yeah,
well
Megan.
done. That looks delicious. I'm so
Megan.
excited. But we're going to move on to the last featured guest for today. So Yvonne Cadiz Kim, I've known her for a very long time. She's worked in some of the most incredible dining rooms in the world. I know her from True Restaurant, which is here in Chicago, and also from Restaurant Danielle, and her husband is an epic chef, Chef Bill Kim. But now she's moving on to like another phase and some other really cool, beautiful things and bringing beauty to all of our lives in another way. So I thought it would be fun to have her today to teach us how to arrange florals for our moms or for ourselves. And so we put up a little floral recipe. I know a lot of us have kits with all the flowers that she's going to work with today so that we can design with you. Yvonne, what is going on?
Hey, Yvonne.
Tell us everything.
Like you're muted, Yvonne. Let's unmute.
I'm so blown away by all the food, and I don't cook. I'm married to, as you said, Chef Bill Kim, so I'm very spoiled. I don't have to do anything in the kitchen except the
Girl.
cleanup duty, and so I would not be good in the kitchen. I'm better with the floral. I'm better with helping with, sort of zhuzhing the table up and making sure everything is set correctly on the plate setting, and then we, of course, finish all tableware or all table settings with floral.
Yvonne, can
That's
you
the
tell
best
us
part.
like where your love from florals and flowers and design comes from and what you've done to get yourself to this place?
Well, I've always been a floral fan ever since I was a kid. So in terms of design and floral and fashion, that's always been in my blood, but I never went that route. And I'm now exploring it as I move on to the next phase of my life. But I've been very fortunate to be in the restaurant business and really get to, see some high level things in terms of design and of course, floral. So I sort of got reinvigorated about 2 years ago about the floral thing, and I was able to kind of exit outside of my role in the restaurant because we have 3 restaurants, and I was able to pursue the floral thing. So that's what I'm doing now.
Awesome.
Yes. So yes, and I attended the flower school in New York City. So that was a 6-week program, and I became a certified floral designer. And so that's where I learned the tips and tricks of how to do floral. And of course, floral is supposed to be fun, but as a florist, to know all of these techniques is very helpful. So I want to make sure I share some of the techniques with you. And also, we shared a recipe, but feel free to use any floral that inspires you or any color palette that inspires you. I chose a soft feminine color palette with a classic. We're going to do a classic petite bouquet. Of course, if you want to change the color, because mom loves more color, feel free to do so. But I thought this was very romantic and a nod to the original superhero in our lives, our mothers. So we want to we want to make sure we always take care of mom, and she's the original goddess in our life. So we treasure her. So,
and Yvonne, I know that your mom was kind of an inspiration for this too, and she gave you a gift of some of these classes. So Hope Nichols had asked all of us to comment on like what your earliest memory of your mom is. So if you would share that, we would love it.
So my mom, she was a hairdresser for 48 years. So my earliest memory, and she was, you know, a single mom. So we always had to, after school, go to the mom, you know, my mom's salon to help her sweep. And I just remember the love that her clients had for her. And that kind of showed me the level of hospitality and service that, you know, kind of played a role in my restaurant life. So that's the lasting memory I have with my mom, because she really taught us about service and hospitality. And, you know, the psychological, you're kind of like a psychiatrist as a hairdresser. So we learned a lot about how to read people and take their temperatures and things like that. And not only like literally take their temperatures, but kind of get in their head so that you bring them ease while you're, you know, doing the thing that you're doing, whether it's cutting hair or serving them. So I learned that from mom.
Okay, so we have all these flowers. What do we do with them?
Okay, so for the recipe, I selected Secret Garden, white hydrangea, lemon leaf, gypsophilia, peachy stock, spray rose, and anemone. So because we're doing a petite bouquet and we're using a 3 by 6 inch vase, and by the way, Belinda, the roses popped in such a grand way that I think I'm gonna have to use the 8 roses that originally called for the recipe. I think I'm gonna just use 7 because they did pop so large. So they'll be able to kind of fit the diameter of this particular 3 by 6 inch vase. Yes.
Wow.
Thank you. Yeah, so they popped really big. So, okay, we're gonna start by the general tip is whatever vase you're using. For instance, this is a 6 inch vase. I'm gonna cut the flower 6 inches plus half. So about 9 inch, so that when I lay it into the vase, it gives me the right angle. So always want to be careful when you cut. Make sure you never cut too short, because obviously that's going to be, you're not going to be able to get the length back once you do that. But if you start with that rule of cutting, you know, the size of the vase in half, that'll give you a good general sort of base to start with. And then if you want to go shorter, you can do that as well. Also too, when, you know, you have roses that have pop like this, sometimes the edge is not, you know, what you want, so you can just pluck it off. And you just keep adding the roses around. And I'm cutting on an angle because that's the best way to properly, you know, hydrate the flowers. So I cut that one a little too short, so now I have to match this one to kind of go along so that it matches around.
Yvonne, should they be all about the same length, or should they be varying a little bit?
Same length, ideally. So, you know, start with the idea of lining up the flower to the vase, and then half. So, for instance, this is 6 inches. I'm going to go about 9 inches for the cut to start, so that I don't cut too short. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think the amazing thing too, Yvonne, is like, you know, you can buy flowers from anywhere, from the grocery store, anywhere, and make something that's so beautiful and more of the sum of the, you know, 1 + 1 = 10, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and for instance, you know, if you're in a jam where you forgot to order in advance, you know, because it's busy season now with Mother's Day, you can always run into your local, you know, like for instance, if you, I go to Mariano's every now and then to pick up something in emergency.
Morgan, your roses, look at Morgan. Morgan's arranging with you.
Oh, nice.
So beautiful.
Okay, so you see how this is, yes.
Here's a question.
Quick question. I noticed that all of the leaves were removed from your roses. Do you recommend just taking them all off as we go?
Yes, so typically as a florist, I will condition flowers beforehand, which is what I did here. I do have one just to show you for example. Whenever you get the flowers and they have all of the green, you know, it's my opinion that you should remove the green. because that way you have a very clean
Also,
bouquet.
what is that knife? Is that like a magical Japanese chef's knife?
This is the Swiss Army floral knife that you can get online. So to the question about removing the greens, yes, I like to remove the greens from the stem because that way you have a clean stem, and it's also easier to to place into the vase because you don't have all that greenery to fuss with. And so I do that ahead of time, and I did that ahead of time just for because we don't have too much time. But I left this one to show you as a example of, yes, you should remove the leaves when you're doing a petite bouquet because you want to have as much room to add flowers. And the more greens that you have on the stem, the harder it is going to be to add flowers to the bouquet. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so we're going to continue with the roses. And as you can see, they're lining up in the perfect sort of sphere. And then I have one more
already
to add.
Gorgeous. I mean, Yvonne, that's like a $200 arrangement already, right? Fabulous.
Believe it or not, yeah. I mean, when you're dealing with these kind of roses, which where you got the roses, these are special. Yeah. So you're always going to get higher quality product, and that's what we have here. So you see how the roses are
in a circle.
Diameter, right? In a circle, a perfect sphere. And now I'm going to move to the hydrangea.
Hey, Yvonne, I noticed that when using the floral knife, you're cutting the stems on an angle. Is it bad if you just use scissors to cut the stems on an angle?
Do you have floral scissors like these?
No, just kitchen scissors.
Okay, you can use the kitchen scissors. It's a good idea to cut on an angle because you expose the stem. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that way the flower stem hydrates properly as opposed to straight across.
Got it.
Okay.
So, Yvonne, it's even that you wanted it like a lot of slant, right? Because that maximizes the water intake.
You're hydrating.
Okay.
Yeah, and it maximizes also, how the stems fall into the bouquet.
Also, I like the way that you saber it, like sabering a bottle of champagne. It's like,
yes. Good point. Yes. Now I'm going to shorten this one a little bit because the hydrangea is also very voluptuous. So I wanted to fall into the bouquet a little lower because again, this is a petite bouquet. So you can see the sphere is happening. It's already pretty full, right? How am I going to add more flowers? You're thinking, right? So we've done and keep in mind too that the roses that Belinda got for me, I conditioned them right away. I hydrated them right away, and I put them in the perfect conditions, so they popped. So that's another trick to doing a floral arrangement is the hydration, the fact that you are cutting them properly, and the fact that if you have a bouquet that you're planning, let's say for instance you're planning a bouquet for a Sunday, if you get the floral stems on a Friday, you want to make sure that you hydrate, cut, and condition, and every day change out the water. And when you change out the water, give the stem a fresh cut. That's very important, and that's what will happen when you do right by the flowers prior to doing the arrangement. The flowers will pop.
Because you brought everything back to life. When I first got them, I was a little scared. I gave Yvonne a bunch of flowers, and I was like, I'm so sorry. They don't look good. And she's like, it's going to be fine. Just cut them, put them in water, put them in a cold place. They'll be fine.
Exactly, yes. So here we have the base. Now I'm going to move into the greenery. So here we have the lemon leaf on the recipe. And with the lemon leaf, you're not going to always get like the perfect leaf. So sometimes you have to pick the leaves that are maybe like, you see this?
Oops.
That are not perfect. You just pick them off and you use what you have that will be appropriate for the bouquet. So I'm adding the green now because I'm going to just push the roses up a little bit more, if that makes sense. You see that there?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to continue. Go ahead.
Pretty, it's so pretty.
Oh, thank you. And here you have the lemon leaf in its entirety. I'm gonna take this and use your floral shears for this, because this is a hardier stem. So you wanna take usable pieces and you wanna trim the the lemon leaf so that you have several pieces to use. So here I have this, I'm gonna add this, use the floral shear. And with this bouquet, keep in mind that I'm using a small vase, so I don't have to put a lot of green. I want the flowers to be the kind of the accent.
It's so crushingly beautiful.
Okay, are you seeing all of that?
Yes.
Okay.
So great.
So we have the main part of the bouquet. Now I'm going to move into some of the accent stems. So the recipe, I have gypsophilia. That's going to be the last thing we add. We're going to move to peachy stock. If you have stock, the stock that arrived on Friday did not survive. So I went to Mariano's and I got Snapdragon instead in the same color palette. So you can see that little curve. It will be a nice accent in the bouquet. Again, I'm cutting it on a slant. And I'm starting to fill in the holes of the bouquet. Do you see that?
Yes.
It's so impressive. It's so beautiful.
Okay.
Megan,
and
you're
I'm gonna
doing great. Look at
I'm
Megan.
gonna start.
This is harder than surgery.
Is it hard?
No, I love it. It's fun.
Easy breezy.
Yeah.
Flowers are supposed to be fun and not intimidating. So I used the Snapdragon, but you can of course use any kind of stock. And as I mentioned, the original recipe called for stock, but we had to move into another selection. So here we have the spray rose. Now, again, these came in very tight. Remember, Belinda, when you dropped them off?
Yeah.
I removed all the greens, I hydrated, I conditioned them, and look at how they popped.
Wow.
See there?
That's
so
amazing.
when you treat the stem right, it'll last a long time.
I was gonna say, you just gotta treat them right.
Yeah,
treat
exactly.
them right. Just like
Gotta
your
treat the
mom.
ladies right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Okay, so I'm gonna start to fill in the bouquet with some more of the spray rose.
Those
So
are so
my
beautiful, Yvonne. I never knew
Yes.
what to use them for before, because you can always buy them, like all the grocery stores have them and stuff. But they
Oh,
look
God,
sort of
yeah.
sad by themselves, and now you're
No.
gonna show us what to do with them.
It's surprising what you can find in the grocery store. I mean, obviously, when you live on a vineyard like Jill and Steve, and you have this incredible land, and you can plant beautiful flowers, you can just pick locally from your farm. But here, we live in Chicago, so right now the concept that I'm working on for floral, because I had to kind of switch my business plan after all of this happened. Now I'm thinking I'm going to move into an urban floral farm concept. So
That's so cool.
that way
cool.
people can buy locally.
Yeah. But Yvonne, we were talking as you were getting ready, you can continue, but I mean, I think all of us are looking to support, small businesses and people that we know and love. Like, it's great to buy Hellman's mayonnaise, but maybe I should find a mayonnaise made by a little small local operator, artisan producer, because I sort of want every penny that I spend to go to people like you, who are doing really cool stuff and have a small business and a family-owned operation. So
well,
cool.
of course, yeah, we so appreciate it, and we always have, had amazing support here in Chicago since we opened about 12 years ago. And when this all happened, the folks, we had to pivot our concept, and the folks out there who are great supporters, joined us on that journey and have contributed with helping us be the new concept, which is more of the carry-out concept. So
also, these
we're
flowers
very
are
fortunate.
amazing, Yvonne. These anemones, I never bought these before. Wow.
Okay, so you see, I have the anemone. What else do we need to add? So we added the green, we added the spray rose, and we can finish with a little gypsophilia. So let me just show you what that looks like. Should I put this here?
But gypsophilia is also known as baby's breath, right?
Yes, exactly. So
I
this
think
is just like, Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, when we were in high school and didn't have a lot of money, you'd buy like the bouquet that had carnations and gypsophilia.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's fun to see it in an adult context, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. Carnations are beautiful. The carnations you can find at grocery stores are beautiful. So with the gypsophilia here, I'm going to take, you see this full stem, but I'm going to cut usable pieces. So I'll just cut these 3. I'm not going to use all 3, I don't think, because as you can see, the bouquet is pretty full. And again, this is a petite bouquet, but it just needs a little accent of gypsophilia. And I'll just kind of maybe place 1 in here.
But now that I see how school dance.
The perfect accent.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a beautiful little accent, believe it or not. I love it.
Well, Bailey, your roses look so good. They're like Bailey, your roses are so open and so beautiful. Nice.
They really opened up. They're so pretty.
Wowza.
Oh, nice. Beautiful.
Yeah. Well done.
That's amazing.
So much fun. This is so fun.
Oh, you enjoyed? So did you see how I placed the anemone? If anyone's using anemone, they're just like little accents. Can you see that on the video?
Yeah, I love these, the little panda. They're called white panda anemone, right?
Yes.
Gorgeous. Wow.
So that's it. That's the petite bouquet.
Wow. Nice job, Matt.
Oh my God.
Is that good?
We got some
That
really
is awesome.
Bailey, let's see yours. Hold on. Hold it. Nice.
Oh,
wow.
so beautiful.
So many. Megan, let's see
my
yours.
gosh.
Look. Woo.
That is amazing, you guys.
Really good looking florals.
You're florist now. Now you can present a proper bouquet.
Hold on. Morgan, are you done? Morgan, let's, oh.
Whoa.
I mean, that's so beautiful. Good job, everyone.
Amazing. See, so very simple bouquet that you can do at home.
Well, Yvonne, thank you for sharing all of your knowledge. I think we're there's a group here that's like very obsessed with greens and plants and florals, and I think it's really
fantastic.
Fun to learn more.
Well, make sure to follow me on Instagram because I'm pivoting my floral business, and that will be something I'll announce shortly. But follow me on Instagram, and I'll grab my own, and I'll keep you all up to date. And if you have any questions for floral, you can always message me on Instagram as well. And obviously, Belinda, you have my hotline, so you're always texting.
I have the hotline. You guys don't know. For maybe the last 2 years, maybe more, because Yvonne and I both go to the same nail salon. Whenever I have floral questions or arrangement questions, Yvonne has been so gracious to answer them. So
you have the hotline. You have the hotline. But for everybody else, until I open my actual store, you can follow me on Instagram, and I'll keep you up to date with the latest concept.
Yvonne, what's your Instagram again? Can you say it again?
I'll grab my own. I'll grab my own bouquet.
Yeah, Gabe will put it up in the chats, and we'll also share it in the post-game meal. Oh my gosh, that's so good. I mean, I feel like I had a really fabulous brunch today.
Yeah, beautiful. I did everything.
You did. It came out amazing. Everybody.
Yeah, thanks.
So if you did all the things, you have a finished bingo card, and you can post it on Instagram and tag us. And then you will get some cheeses and some delicious things sent to you for next week. And we also wanted to tell you about next week, because this week's theme was Mother's Day. Obviously, we've done Sanko did Derby and all kinds of fun themes. We thought that for next week, we should do green, all things green. So we have an amazing sort of Instagram chef, Aaron Hutcherson from New York. Will be cooking with him a green recipe. And then we have Michael Fawthorpe, who's a friend of both Matthew's and mine, who's in LA and is an incredible bartender, and maybe has been on TV more than me, because if you've ever seen a drone delivery cocktail or any sort of spectacular balloon popping cocktail, chances are Michael created it. He's going to tell with us. And then, Matt, I'm so excited to have met these two through you.
Yeah. So this is Ozzy and Juan. They are based here in Chicago. They opened up Plant Shop Chicago, I believe, in 2016, and they have a lot of really great stuff going on right now. So we're gonna try to see if we can get them to maybe make a bundle for everyone. We can talk to them still, but you can still check them out right now at plantshopchicago.com. They are doing deliveries and curbside pickups. So if you need some plants in your life, some succulents, some cactus. I personally got a Venus flytrap and a cactus the other day.
But also, Gabe, can we spotlight you? Because you've got some floral and green, Gabe. And I totally want everybody to see.
Okay, hold
Gabe,
on. Let me see if I can turn.
Yeah. So Gabe, our director, is also, this is a group of people that love plants. So
amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
But also Gabe loves plants too, and he's got like a really gorgeous plant setup. So, I mean, I'm so excited, Yvonne, that you were like our first plant gal, and then we're gonna do.
It was an honor.
A lot of live stuff moving forward. So, all of you, I think it's a moment for us to raise a glass and say cheers to all of our mothers, whether they are biological or the people who are the moms in our lives, and also cheers to all of you for taking a moment to find something bright and wonderful on a Sunday in a very tough time, and helping us to support these small business owners and these friends, and helping them along their journey, but also through all of this, also helping yourself. It's important to connect and to find connections and comfort. And, you know, I love you guys because you help me to not have to drink by myself. So cheers. Happy Sunday. That's the end of episode
Happy Mother's Day.
Cheers.
I love all of you. Happy Mother's Day. We will be here for a little while longer because there's always a fun post show. But outside of that, we will see you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hello, everyone. Green episode next week.